InGroup, let's take a look here. We're going to have to set up a scene for this. Let's go ahead and remove this light. Let's come back into our particle draw. Delete that. We've got a red particle out here. And let's go ahead and duplicate this by holding shift and dragging it. We want to actually create green particles. Let's remove them all and draw a new one. So now we've got a green particle. What we can do is, we should have left that, but we'll just go ahead and create an all. What we'll do is we'll say InGroup is a way to kind of filter out particles. And if you want to, because if you have a very large dynamic or group tree here, we'll go ahead and create some of these underneath these others. So we could say, okay, within my groups, I want any particles in the red group to do something. And so the way this works is my groups references this group here, who is the parent of all of these groups. So my groups, if it's going to take all the particles in my groups, all of these, and it's going to pipe them through this InGroup, and the InGroup says, okay, if you're in a red group, then I'm going to output a true. And what will happen is only the red particles are going to get affected by this velocity assignment. Let's make sure our velocity, right now it's pointing up in Z, so we can't really see it, but we'll go ahead and make it go forward. And so there goes the red particle, because he is the only one out of this my groups coming in. He's in the red group, and so he's going to get affected. Now there's some other switches involved here. We've got subtree as well as invert. Let's take a look at subtree. We're going to kind of swap these groups around a little bit. We're going to move the green group underneath the red group, so green is a child of red, so any rule applied to red also gets applied to green. So what will happen is my groups now, all these particles come through here, goes through InGroup, and anything in the red group or the subtree of red is going to output a true. So any red or subtree, being green, is going to be true. So both of these two particles are now going to get affected by this velocity. So just remember, InGroup is a way to kind of take a whole bunch of particle groups and filter through them to figure out certain conditions. And you can use that to either control their motion or apply certain rules. It's very flexible. But let's also take a look at the invert option here. We're going to put green back up above. So now what happens is all the particles of my groups come in. Anything in, let's actually unselect this subtree. So anything in red, anything except red is going to be affected by velocity. So basically only the green group here. And of course what's happening is this InGroup is saying if you're in red, then I don't want to output true. Or if you're in the subtree of red, do not output true. Let's put the green up in there. So now even green will not be affected. But of course if green is above, then green is not in the subtree of red. So we've got my groups, all those particles. Is it in the red group? Is it in the subtree of red group? If it is, then output a false instead of a true. That's what this invert does. But green, of course, is not in the subtree of red, so green is able to go ahead and get the velocity applied. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for conditions. We're going to go ahead and plow into the rest of them, and we'll talk to you then.